Hello, everyone. If you haven't heard already, then well, let's just say that I hate reporting or talking about these type of news because I know it affects a lot of people out there, especially Hololive fans who have had so many experiences with a lot of the talent in Hololive, watching their streams, maybe even getting a chance to see them live or a meet and greet, and it's always one of the really bad feelings that you get when all of a sudden you hear about a sudden announcement from one of the talents, like extremely sudden, right? And most people immediately think, oh no, oh god, no. Usually it means that the talent is graduating. And unfortunately, I knew about the sudden stream like about 8 hours before the stream was going to go live. And I wanted to believe that it wasn't going to be a graduation announcement. However, when I woke up in the morning, it turned out to be just that. And unfortunately, Murasaki Shion has decided to graduate from Hololive. Now, if you don't know, this graduation is not similar to the way Ame and Chloe have decided to graduate, where they are still, going to come back in some sort of capacity, whether it be like a special guest. Another example would be the Hololive Festival just announced recently that Small Ame will be one of the mascots to appear at the Hololive Festival. So for something like that, we get like a little bit more clearer picture of like what type of special guest appearances or like special like collaboration they will do in regards to that. So that is an example of one. This one is very similar to Fauna's graduation in that Murasaki Shion is going to graduate from Hololive forever. She won't come back, she won't return as Murasaki Shion, but she will essentially just exit the company after 7 long years. And 7 long years is a really, really long time. Like, holy crap. Most people don't necessarily work for a company for 7 long years unless they really enjoy it and are able to move up the ladder, and it's their dream job essentially, right? But for most people, they usually never stay at one place for a very long time. That being said, Shion was one of, I believe, according to certain fans out there, that she was also one of the youngest members of Hololive, who actually started out really young. Like, I believe some people are saying that she was like 18 when she first started, streaming and being part of Hololive. And, that is not really shocking. It's just it's understandable that she was very young when she first started Hololive, and now after 7 years she wants to do something else. During her graduation announcement and her stream, the reason she gave for why she's graduating is because she did not like the direction that Hololive was going, which is very similar to what essentially Fauna kind of also mentioned in her graduation stream. This doesn't mean that there's a falling out between Shion and Hololive. It just means that the company, as big as it is now, is moving in a different direction that she does not want to essentially be a part of. It doesn't mean that management messed up. It just means that Shion's vision of what the company used to be and what it is now is vastly different, and as much as she would love to stay, she just feels like the direction they're going is not for her. And that's understandable. A lot of the times when a company, especially when a company goes public, there's a lot of new things that happen. Sometimes a company goes into a different direction because that's where the money is. It's possible that Hololive is now heading towards more of an idol group, with concerts and going away from gaming, which at the same time, it feels like you can't really take that away from them, because a lot of these talents start off with streaming. They're streamers. Not a lot of them can become idols. So, there has to be some middle ground to that, in my personal opinion. But I don't think there's any sort of ill will between Shion and, Hololive. So, while it is sad that Shion is going to be graduating, she'll be graduating on Saturday, April 26th, which is about a month, about 2 months away. Man, it's about a month. I don't know why I said 2 months, but it's about a month and 20 days, essentially. And you know what? If Shion wants to move in a different direction or she wants to do something else, you know, she is more than welcome to. She has that right. And at the end of the day, if she is happy with this decision, because I know that a lot of people have also mentioned that she has been debating about graduating, alongside that she has a lot of medical issues that she has experienced through her time in Hololive. She feels like this is the best time to graduate, and you know what? I wish her the best, because no matter what she does, whether she continues streaming or finds some other work, you know, all we can do is just support her and just, you know, wish her well in whatever career, you know, she decides to pursue after Hololive. And, you know, there's going to be a lot of people out there who are going to start, you know, talking about, like, why is this happening? You know, we've had so many graduations the past year and plus, you know. Is something going on in Hololive? There's something really bad going to happen. You know, doomsday posters, doomsday theorists. And to me, I never felt that way with the way a lot of these graduations happen, as well as the way the other towns are feeling about Hololive, because you can kind of feel that. Even if you don't know stuff behind the scenes, you can kind of feel there's some sort of disconnection between the talent and the company that they are a part of. Niji Sanji, you could definitely feel that. With Hololive, you don't necessarily feel it, but it is still always surprising when, you know, they do an announcement like this, right? But I think that at the end of the day, Shion just wants to move on to do something else, and she felt like with the direction that the company's going, it was the best time to do so, right? Overall, you know, there's going to be a lot of changes happening. Yago did make a post recently about, you know, fans' concern about these sudden graduations, why we've had so many graduations from Hololive, and he wants to, you know, let us know that there will be some sort of discussion between, you know, Hololive and the talents to see if they can find a middle ground, to see what they can do to, you know, make it so that Hololive is a place where they want to stay, you know. And you know, that's perfect. That's actually a really good thing that Yago is admitting and that he is saying, which is fantastic, right? Whether or not anything happens in that regard, I don't know. But I do think that people should expect more graduations. You know, I don't know if there's going to be more this year. I don't have a crystal ball or anything like that. But a lot of these talents have been with this company for a long time, and a lot of them may want to move on. And you know what? They have the right to do so. I understand a lot of people just want to point fingers at Hololive and be like, oh, this is all Hololive's fault. You know, the ecosystem, the environment at Hololive is such a disaster now. There's no point in, like, thinking that way. All you're going to do is just going to be circling around. The only time you can ever, like, point to it is if something comes out, something gets leaked, or something happens, right, that is legitimately going to be on the news because it's a serious offense, right? And, you know, we saw what happened with Niji Sanji. You know, we saw all of that occur. So we know how bad it can get and what can happen if it does get that bad. To me, Hololive doesn't seem like it's in that direction at all. There's still going to be people who will still think that way. And you know what? I can't control that. All I know is that none of the girls, none of the talents has ever seem to make it appear like there's something really bad going on inside Hololive, right? Best example, Fubuki. She has stated several times, right, with a lot of these graduations, that if she leaves or if she decides to, you know, graduate, then, you know, there might be something going on in Hololive that she personally does not agree with, right? So who knows what can happen in the near future. I do expect there to be more graduation because it's just part of VTubing. It's part of, like, being in a VTuber agency. Not all the talents are going to stay. You know, eventually many of them will move on because they see a lot of, you know, former talent become successful indie VTubers. And, you know, there's a lot more freedom in being an indie VTuber. So it's like they will see that. And that might be a little bit of, you know, of a concern for Hololive, but I think with the way they've been recruiting talent, with the way they have been managing all of this stuff, I think they'll be fine. But I do expect there to be more graduations. It sucks, trust me, it really does suck. I hate this. You know, like if Corona would, ever decide to graduate, I would be super upset. But you know what? Corona being Corona, more than likely she'll continue streaming as an indie VTuber if she ever decides to leave Hololive. And that is what we should look positively at, not this whole doomsday, situation, right? Because with the amount of love that we have shown these talents, we know that they will be fine, right? We know that they will survive as an indie VTuber, and they will always be there to give us content, to be our favorite content creators. Our Oshis. Sorry, I cannot pronounce his word right, but you get my point, right? And I think it's important to know that no matter how much we try to discuss, argue about what is actually going on in Hololive, we will never know, because Hololive is a company that prides itself in its privacy, right? Because they know that if private stuff leaks out, it could be an issue for the company, and they don't want to do that, especially if no wrongdoing has occurred. Because if nothing bad is happening, a lot of these towns will be concerned, and a lot of these towns will probably leave. It's how it goes. If a company is really messing up, you will be able to notice with the way the talent has been acting, with more graduations piling on in a very shorter distance, right? Time frame, I should say. So we will know. Trust that we will know that there's something going on in Hololive. We've seen it with Niji Sanji. When one domino falls, the rest of them go down quickly. We've seen just how bad it can get. So yeah, at the end of the day, I was never a big watcher of Murasaki Shion, but I do know that Shion was a very, very talented individual who, has always had fun with, other members. I mostly remember her from her time with Gura, and as well as the unfortunate incident that occurred with her pet cat. That was really sad to hear about. She has been through a lot. She's been with this company for 7 years, and with all her hiatuses because of many different health concerns, I think Shion at the end of the day is happy with her decision, and I think the only thing we can do is wish her well in her future endeavors, whatever it may be. So that is my video on the whole Murasaki Shion situation, of her graduation, I should say. And I think, if you want to continue believing that there's something going on in Hololive that, is concerning for you, you have every right to be concerned, right? But I think we shouldn't be thinking that Hololive as a company is turning into something terrible, right? Graduations will happen. It will always happen. People will leave their job because there's better opportunities somewhere else. And until we realize that that's just the norm of just everyday life, it will be much easier to understand that there's nothing really big going on behind the scenes, right? While I cannot confidently say that there isn't something happening, right? Because I don't work for the company, I don't know what's going behind the scenes. I think at the end of the day, unless the talents themselves come out with this stuff and, they're all of a sudden, there's lawyers involved or anything like that, there's nothing that will essentially tell me specifically that something's going on behind Hololive. Yago's statement may make you feel that way, but he wants to at least, find out why, or find a solution to, these graduations. So there's at least some progress in that, So thank you so much for watching. Murasaki Shion, good luck in your future endeavors, and I hope you are able to, get healthy and, find whatever it is that you want to do and be happy doing so. So thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys next time.